Hello, this is Amy Lee, the Productive Mama, and today I want to share some of my home and homeschool and school helpers, tools that I use to kind of keep sane during the school year, especially as we gear up to get started and things seem to start getting intense. So I have some tools that will help you no matter what kind of school you and your kids do, and then some that are a little more specific to homeschooling. So the first thing I wanted to mention is Trello. I really need to do a post on this, but if you are on my mailing list already, you have seen me talk about all the different ways that I have realized I could use Trello to really help me. I'm going to be using it to organize my class for my homeschool co-op, my middle school literature class. So we meet once a week. I'm going to be dividing up the assignments, what we're discussing in class, the projects, into Trello by book that we're doing. And then that will be each list, and each card will be the week that we are still on that book. And then when we'll move over to the next like poetry lesson, that will be a new list with cards for each session that we meet as well. So I'm also using Trello for my kids' schools and things that I need to keep track of for that, because now I'm going to be having kids at two different schools plus my youngest that's still homeschooling. So I have her. She has a board that is for her homeschool, and then each list is each subject, and then each I'm sorry, is that how it works? Yes, and then each card are the materials and assignments underneath that subject. Okay, the other thing I think every family needs are a bunch of dry erase boards. Here's a little one. I have a big one. I have smaller ones. I even have dry erase paper, and so we have used that to make checklists for their assignments. I like to get my kids as independent as possible, keeping track of what their assignments are. So I like to use the whiteboards and the dry erase paper for that. Chore lists, things coming up, notes if I leave the house or I'm indisposed, but I need them to know something. All kinds of lists. Those are great for any family, but especially if you are trying to keep track of a lot in your homeschool. Timers are also great. Timers are great in homeschool because you can say we're going to do this assignment for this long, and you set the timer. If you have a young kid that doesn't tell time, or if you have a kid getting frustrated, look, we're only going to do this much longer, or let's do a 10-minute tidy. We're going to work really hard on cleaning up the living room. Big erasers, and a bunch of them are another tool for kids in school or who are homeschooling. So I just like to keep, I have a big eraser that says like big eraser on it. We keep that on the table. I keep it on the homeschool shelf. We just want to be able to grab an eraser whenever we need one. So I have several strewn about the house. I think they're absolutely necessary. Audiobooks are great for, for a homeschool co-op. I have quite a range of kids that I'm teaching this literature class to. Some of them are going to need to listen to the book while they read, or to just listen to it on the very young side of my class. But if you have a kid that struggles with reading and retention, this might be a really good way to help them. And it's so easy these days with Audible. You can get the accompanying audiobook along with the book that they are reading. Oh, so the library. That is a tool every family should use every week at all times. Use your library. Vote for your library bonds. You might be surprised at what you can find there. So, daughter of a librarian. Okay, make use of other moms. Find your tribe. I am about to go into a whole new school with one of my kids. I got to find some moms to help me out, figure out how stuff works. And if you're homeschooling, this is especially important. Once you find that homeschool tribe, you really have great resources to go to for where can I get testing done? Um, who has a hiking club? Where can I find out about this co-op? Things like that. So find your other moms, find your tribe. Okay, Evernote. Uh, I've used Evernote for about 10 years, and it's sort of my digital filing cabinet. And I keep a lot of homeschool records there, pictures of books, pictures of work they've done, lists of books they've read, um, because you think you'll remember that, but you won't remember that. Trello can do some of this too, but I've already started that in Evernote, and I will probably continue. So look into Evernote. It's also a great way to organize classes, to write, compose things that you're putting together. I've done that to organize classes before. Spelling City. Spelling City is great for spelling lists, whether your kid is in school or you homeschool. You enter your words, and it makes fun games, video games out of it. So you can use this on your phone, your tablet, on the computer. I used this quite a while ago. I know now they've probably made great advances. There's Vocabulary City. I don't even know what else there is. At the time I did this, my kids were not video game savvy at all. I mean, I think they're still pretty cool. If you have a kid that is, a huge gamer, I'm sure these games are not super amazing. But if you have a little kid who is reluctant to study their spelling words, this might be a really great tool to help them out. CTC Math. I have done a review of this program. We used it as a our sole math program with one of my kids at one point. A lot of people like to use it as a supplement, but it's also great for your school kid who may have lost some skills over the summer, or who has a disparity in their skills. So maybe they're really amazing at one part of their math work and they really struggle in another. What I like about CTC is that you do not just buy one grade, you get the whole program. So you can say, oh, my kid is 6th grade here, let's check that out. Or I guess it would be more practical is my kid is struggling and is in 3rd grade level here, so let's kind of work on that and bring those skills up. Back to school means back to school clothes for a lot of people. So thrift stores are a great resource, and I have reviewed online thrift stores on my website. ThredUp is great. You can save searches. It will email you if you're looking for a particular color, brand, and size in something. You can save that search, and it will send you the matches daily if something comes up daily. So, and that's a nice little tip to give you that maybe I shouldn't share in case you're looking for the same things I'm looking for. All right, PlantoEat, a great resource for every single family, but especially as things are getting busy. You want to plan your menus, people, because that saves so much meal prep time. It also helps you get your kids involved in helping with the meals when you know exactly what you're making. And so then now, of course, I have to mention my Freezer Meal Club e-course and guidebook, because I think my Freezer Meal Club is an amazing resource all year round, but especially now as I'm thinking about how busy, and not just how busy for me at this point, but it's that I have a lot of uncertainty as I am looking now toward this new year. I'm not sure what our schedule is going to look like. I'm not sure what the mornings are going to look like. I'm not sure what time everybody's getting home. So knowing that no matter what happens, I have a meal I can just grab that somebody made to my standards, might be new and exciting, might be an old favorite. That is a great peace of mind for me. Okay. Things that are specific to homeschoolers, even though you can use these too if you're not homeschooling, but Homeschool Buyers Co-op is the first place I stop to look for any curricula, because they're going to have the best price, and you get points. So you eventually, after enough purchases, I'm able to get something for free, usually, through the points that I've earned. So I get a lot there, including things like Homeschool Planet, which is a planner that I have reviewed in detail, and I'll put that link down there, that is specific to homeschoolers because it helps you break up your lessons into daily, weekly lists. And it automatically works with a lot of the more popular curricula out there. So if you use IEW, Institute for Excellence in Writing, and you enter that into Homeschool Planet, it automatically propagates those lessons, divides them up into the appropriate time slots or assignments, I guess, and automatically does that for you. So go check out Homeschool Planet. You might find that it's a good fit for your homeschool needs. Other things I get from Homeschool Buyers Co-op, I mentioned Institute for Excellence in Writing. I am now going into my 3rd year of using their materials, typically in a group setting, a co-op setting. I have used these, and what I like about them is that they make it really easy for the teacher. The way they present things, the way they divide it up, the instruction that they give, make it easy for student and teacher. So I am about to try out another resource of theirs this year, so clearly I'm a fan. I have not reviewed IEW yet. I should. It's on my very long to-do list. Reflex Math is great to drill those fact families, so addition and subtraction or multiplication and division. I think we're going into our 3rd year of using this too, even with older kids, because one of mine doesn't retain these things very well. So if you have somebody that's at that stage of learning those fact families, my kids don't complain about Reflex still, and they didn't complain. We have tried some other programs. None of them seem to be as engaging. Also, from your parent perspective, it's very easy to go in and see how they're doing, where they are, where they're struggling, how long they've been working on it, things like that. I mentioned CTC. I have also used Thinkwell Math. Thinkwell, you have to go by grade, but it is, I thought, very comprehensive, very well done, and very much worth the cost. They might have other subjects than math, but we use them for math. Schmoop, funny name, used by schools and professional teachers, but I have used it in my homeschool co-op in the past, and I am returning to it this year. All kinds of subjects, all kinds of topics, lots of good free resources too. So go, even if it's not super cheap, that's because it makes your life easier. I was able to use points to get this program subscription. It's new to Homeschool Buyers Co-op, and I was really excited to see it. But even go check them out for the free materials. And then my last resource, my last helper, is a homeschool park day, or getting out of the house with your homeschool kids, making sure they're getting sunshine, getting some time outside, and getting some fairly regular time with other kids, and you get time with other moms. This is part of building your tribe that I talked about earlier. I'm going into my 12th year of homeschooling, and from the very beginning, I have had a regular park day. We are now coming out of that phase with kids going to school and my kids getting older. We are kind of coming out of this, but it was vital to us for over a decade, as I just said. And a lot of times people think, oh, you get so much more socialization, build relationships in school. But what I have found is talking to friends is, you're in this class with your friend all year, we're best friends, and the next year you're not in any classes together. You're not in the same class, and that relationship, it can be difficult to maintain. Well, with our homeschool park day, my kids have had consistent relationships over 12 years. Now, what this means is we've had some ups, we've had some downs, we're not that great friends anymore, we've come back together, but they have had this homeschool family for quite a while. So I would urge you to look into what might be available to you, because I think it will be a big help to your homeschool to have something like that too. So I will put the links for these resources that I've mentioned below. I hope they might help you make your transition back to school, whatever kind of school you do, easier and make your life better in general.